Kaduna floods displays 545 households, destroys 171 homes and kills 3 in Zaria. Senate Bar Senator Natasha Akpote-Odohan's return, citing ongoing court case over suspension. Diesel contamination in Ibadan well alarms Yemetu residents, triggers security probe. And on the foreign scene, rapid support forces drone attacks hit Khartoum, caused power outage. Hello, good evening, and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Fatima Ahmed Musa. Thank you so much for joining us. Now we'll begin with Kaduna State. No fewer than 545 households have been displaced after 2 days of torrential rainfall, with 171 houses also damaged across communities in Kaduna North local government area of Kaduna State. The Executive Secretary, Kaduna State Emergency Management Agency, Usman Mazadu, made this known in a statement in Kaduna on Tuesday. Mazadu said the agency led a joint assessment of the affected areas to determine the scale of destruction and coordinate emergency response. He explained that the rain, which fell between September 4th and 5th, forced responders to move from evaluation to urgent evacuation in some communities as flood waters submerged homes and property. Mazadu said Kigo Road community was the worst hit, with 69 buildings and 276 households were flooded, adding that a private nursery and primary school, Merits Kids Academic School, was also affected. Now, 3 people have been confirmed dead, while 1 person is still missing after floodwater swept them away as a result of heavy downpour in Zaria. Reports say the corpse of an 18-year-old lady, Fatima Sanit Amariki, a student of the School of Basic and Remedial Studies, stood at Funtua with the baby she was backing, and another student, Yusuf Surajo, known as Abba, were recovered dead at Isam Nabawa Primary School Bridge in Tudunwada, Zaria. While Surajo was recovered on Monday, the corpse of Fatima and the 3-year-old baby were recovered on Tuesday. An eyewitness, Mustafa Badamasi Bakano of Tukurjukung, said the 3 corpses were recovered separately, with the remaining 1 still missing. Bakano explained that the incident occurred on Monday evening following heavy downpour recorded in the area. Now, in Borno, water levels in parts of Maiduguri, the state capital, is rising alarmingly, sparking fears of another potential flood among residents. Such fears have been heightened as some recall a similar scenario during last September's devastating disaster. Trust TV's Beatrice Kuresi has the details.
For days now, water levels have surged dangerously at the Marganari waterway, with residents anxiously watching and hoping it does not swell into another flood. Canoes have become the main means of crossing into other parts of the community, with fares starting from 50 naira.
I charge 50 naira because I need to eat well to have the strength to paddle, and it's also risky. The canoe could capsize and passengers' lives are in my hands. I am only doing this to make ends meet.
Before I go to farm, I saw the water is still back, but it increased this more.
Okay, it increased.
That's what I said.
For how long?
As from I left here by 8, and I came by 2.
Okay.
When it rained around the side, so it increased the water.
The strong currents have also forced a halt to construction work on the bridge along Mashimami Road. In Bolonkotu's Tudunwada area, stagnant water has turned the community into a creek for weeks, even after flood waters receded in other parts of Maiduguri following recent heavy rains. Here too, residents can only reach their homes by canoe.
The water has forced some residents to leave their homes for weeks. We are fortunate to have the canoe running from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. Otherwise, one will have to walk about 3 kilometers just to get home. We are pleading with the government to intervene.
Usually it wasn't like this, but this very year it has been catastrophic, and people a lot are going through a lot of challenges. You can see homes over here have been, brought down by the water. Some children usually bathe inside this water, and as you can see, there's the place they dump refuge here, which is not actually good even for the health of the children. So we are asking that the government can actually see a way to make sure that this actually is solved. This very issue is solved.
Though the rainy season may soon come to an end, the memory of last year's September disaster remains fresh. Residents are now calling on the government authorities to act swiftly to prevent another tragedy. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
Now, the National Assembly says the senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti-Odohan, cannot resume office yet, despite completing her 6-month suspension. In a letter by the acting clerk to the National Assembly, Yahaya Nzaria, dated September 4th, 2025, the Senate acknowledged Akpoti-Odohan's notification of her intended return on September 4th, the date she claimed marked the end of her suspension. But the upper chamber said her 6-month suspension remains in force pending the outcome of a Court of Appeal case instituted against the Senate by Akpoti-Odohan. It insisted that no administrative action can be taken until the Court of Appeal delivers a verdict, arguing that her suspension took effect on March 6, 2025, and the matter is still sub judice. According to the letter, the Senate would only review her suspension after the court's pronouncement. Akpoti-Odohan was suspended on March 6 following allegations of insubordination after she rejected a change of her designated seat during plenary. Now, some leaders from Warri Federal Constituency on Tuesday staged a peaceful protest at the headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Abuja. The protesters carried various placards like "CRV today is a political fraud in Warri Federal Constituency," "Warri Federal Constituency, no word, no unit for CRV, INEC give us the final report," among others. They also want the electoral umpire to immediately release the final report of the Supreme Court ordered delineation of electoral registration areas, wards and polling units in the Warri Federal Constituency. They also carried a huge banner bearing the map of Ijaws and Ishekiri communities in Warri South local government area of Delta State. Among other things, the demonstrators are demanding an immediate stoppage to the ongoing continuous voter registration, arguing that the exercise was not done in accordance with the recently concluded delineation. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced that over 3.5 million Nigerians pre-registered online for voter cards within the first 3 weeks of its ongoing nationwide voter registration exercise. This was disclosed in a statement signed on Monday by INEC's National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, Sam Olumeku. According to the Commission, as of Sunday, September 7, 2025, a total of 3,544,850 citizens had completed online pre-registration since the process began on August 18, 2025. Of this figure, 48.24% are male, while 51.76% are female. The majority, representing 64.65%, fall within the age of 18 and 34 with 24.89% identified as students. On completed registration, INEC disclosed that it will henceforth present both online and physical in-person figures in a single graphic. Now, residents of Kondaga in Borno State are calling on the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to deploy more staff to help capture those who lost their voter cards during last September's flood that submerged the community. It will be recalled that the devastating flood destroyed farmlands, properties, and infrastructure across Maiduguri city and some neighboring local governments. Trust TV's Bitrus Kursi reports.
Dalori community has endured double tragedies: insurgency that displaced its population and the September flood disaster that destroyed homes and farmlands. In the aftermath, many residents also lost their voter cards. Now, hundreds of them have turned out at the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise. But they say the process needs more hands, even though it is moving smoothly.
Mobilize our people for renew their voters card, and those who are underage before, now they are qualified to collect the voters card. That's why I came to my ward, my unit, to mobilize our good people of Kandiga local government to let them come out, collect their voters card. That is the message that I brought.
INEC officials alongside community leaders are urging residents to come out en masse and register ahead of the 2027 general elections.
The turnout is very impressive considering the previous years, because previous years people cannot even gather like this in a one place due to the insurgency. And for the registration, is going smooth. It's going smooth as expected, and we are expecting, inshallah, we will have a large number. I think even triple of the previous time, inshallah.
We'll encourage our people. Exactly, that's what, as an officer of the Emirate, we were also encouraged by the Sheikh of Borno to also highlight our people to go out and get their voters card. Especially in Borno State, recently, because of the insecurity, some people may have run out of their villages and left the cards behind. Or somebody. With
the voter registration exercise ongoing, Dalori residents are hopeful that they will be captured before the exercise concludes. Bitrus Kursi, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
Now, 3 people have been killed in a fresh bandit onslaught on Kaduna village in Faskari local government area of Kaduna State on Monday evening. The attack left many residents wounded and rushed to hospital for medical attention, while an unspecified number of women and children were believed to have been abducted in the process. Kaduna community has suffered several bandits attacks over the last 2 decades. This is the second time the village is coming under an attack in 10 days, while the worst attack on the community was in 2019, where over 17 people were killed by bandits. Residents of Kaduna community expressed displeasure over the withdrawal of the security forces guarding the area without any prior notice. When contacted, the Kaduna State Police Command's spokesman, DSP Sadiq Aliu, said the police is still investigating and promised that the hoodlums terrorizing peace-loving citizens across Kaduna State will soon be brought to book. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC Zamfara State Command has arrested suspected dealers in illegal premium motor spirit (PMS). The NSCDC in a statement said the arrest was in accordance with the federal and state executive orders. There are restrictions and regulations governing the purchase of petroleum products. The statement said on Tuesday, 9 September 2025, the State Command paraded suspects who deal in illegal petrol, which is usually conveyed to a dark spot of Dangebe village of Talata Marafa local government, Zamfara State, in large quantities, violating the national and state executive orders. The Divisional Corps Office in Talata Marafa local government arrested the suspect identified as Abba Umar with 42 jerrycans and 3 gallons of petroleum products in a blue Volkswagen. You're still watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Diesel contamination in Badon well alarms Yemetu residents, triggers security probe. There's some more when we return. Just stay with us. Welcome back. If you're just joining, this is News Update on Trust TV. In case you missed it, here's a recap of our top stories again. We told you that Kaduna Flood displaced 545 households, destroys 171 homes and kills 3 in Zaria. Senate Bar Senator Natasha Akpote-Odohan's returns cites ongoing court case over suspension. Now move on. Residents of Umekule in Ibadan's Yemetu area have expressed worry following the discovery of diesel in a local well, wondering what may have caused it. Security personnel have, in the meantime, sealed off the area to prevent any tampering, while investigations are underway to determine the source of the contamination. The report.
The Omikule compound in Yemetu, Ibadan, has become a center of attention following the shocking discovery of diesel in a well. Curious residents continue to troop to the site, though the cause of the contamination remains unclear to both the community and the authorities. The well has been sealed and security personnel are on ground as officials carried out investigations. Residents says they are still in shock since it was discovered few days ago.
I just come by pepper here. They just tell me say and put oil for this way. I must say no be say oil they put so maybe say the oil just come inside the well. Make the big key come. I just bring the key. I just open it. As they open, they put this thing to carry it. The packer carry its cup. Just beat this one. Everybody just say this one, no this one.
I sent my child to fetch water from the well. When we opened it and drew from it, to our shock, what came out was diesel, not water. Since then, the well has been locked and nobody is allowed to fetch from it. We first noticed that the tap water looked impure and suspected contamination. Around 7 a.m., we observed the strange water quality, and by afternoon, a crowd had gathered with police already on site. The police, in an initial statement, suggested that the fuel may have leaked from an underground storage tank. Officials from the Ministry of Environment have since collected samples of the substance for analysis. Attention has also turned to a telecommunication mast located beside the affected house, which some suspect could have linked to the linkage. Ministry's officials, however, says they will not comment until investigation are complete. For now, residents remain worried, not just about the mystery of how diesel entered the well, but also about the potential health and safety risks it poses.
Now, security and regulatory agencies say they sustained a high-level operations in August, yielding significant results across the country. At the monthly joint security press briefing held at the National Orientation Agency headquarters in Abuja on September 8, the NOA Director General highlighted ongoing efforts to strengthen and sustain national security. According to the briefing, police said arrests dropped an indication of a reduced crime rate, adding that they also rescued 141 victims during the period. The NDLEA noted that it deployed 48 new operational vehicles, while the EFCC secured 588 convictions and recovered over 21 billion. NAFDAC, on its part, reported the seizure of 17 containers of unsafe and falsified products, while the Immigration Service intercepted 50 trafficking victims.
The Army executed 261 operations. Police made 1,950 arrests. and rescued 141 victims. NDLEA seized 66,255.81 kilograms of narcotics and deployed 48 new vehicles to the field. EFCC secured 588 convictions with over 21.06 billion naira recovered.
The members of the armed forces are not omnipresent. We do our jobs. Once we stabilize the area, we pull out because we have a lot in our hands. We move. We expect other agencies of government that are statutorily having that responsibility to hold ground. In the event where there is lacuna, we always have this issue. Everybody has a responsibility. The military will stabilize and move to the front. We are always in the move. And if you will be honest to us, you know that we have much in our hands. Please, let's be patriotic Nigerians. Let's work as a team. Because if Nigeria wasn't relatively peaceful, I am very sure none of us will be seated in this hall.
The government, through Nigerian Mission Service, is deploying technology, high-tech camera, drones, just to get a footage of our border. You know that we have expansive border. On the north, we are bordered by Niger Republic, then northeast by Chad, then southeast, other flank of our border, we have the Cameroon and we have Benin. So all these borders are going to be covered using technology so that we can get online, real-time images of what happens at the border. So the game changer for us is the government investment in e-border solutions.
Now in business, a spokesman for Nigeria's Dangote refinery on Tuesday said the country would not see a petrol shortage despite an ongoing strike by a union representing fuel tanker drivers. The strike, which began Monday and has since drawn support from other unions in Nigeria and abroad, comes as the refinery is hiring its own drivers to deliver gasoline to retailers. Spokesman for the refinery, Anthony Chijina, said there is no fuel shortage, adding that everything is going on well. Chijina, who was speaking with AFP, said talks were continuing between the union, the government and the company. The strike comes as the refinery is set to deploy a fleet of thousands of trucks powered by compressed natural gas to distribute its petrol nationwide, with Nopeng alleging that the drivers are being hired on the condition that they do not join the union, but the refinery has denied the allegation. Now on the foreign scene, Sudan's capital, Khartoum, was plunged into darkness early Tuesday after drone attack by the Paramilitary Rapid Support Forces RSF triggered a major power outage across the city. Eyewitness reports say the drone hit a power station, an online refinery and a military air base. Sources said a weapon factory was also targeted. Khartoum was the epicenter of fighting when tension erupted between government forces and the RSF in April 2023. The conflict soon engulfed the country and an estimated 40,000 people have since been killed. And now in sport, Flying Eagles captain Daniel Bameyi has sealed a move to Slovenian club ND Primorje Ajdovščina. Bameyi, who joined ND Primorje Ajdovščina from Nigerian academic Yom FC, put pen to paper on a 3-year contract. The 19-year-old spent last season on loan at Nigeria Premier Football League club Bayelsa United. The deal was sealed before the end of European transfer window. Bameyi will soon join his new club after the 2025 FIFA Under-20 World Cup, which will be hosted by Chile later this month. And with that, we have come to the end of news updates on Trust TV. Do not forget to watch and catch us across all our social media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs and documentaries. I am Fatima Ahmed Musa. Thank you for watching.